Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. We have an inspiring topic to dive into: 5 ways to know if you're one of God's chosen. Now, that phrase might sound a bit daunting at first, but I promise we'll keep things light, engaging, and relatable. When many of us hear the term chosen, it can feel exclusive or intimidating, almost like it's reserved for a select few. However, my intention today is to encourage you to think about your journey in faith and what it means to be part of something bigger than ourselves. This isn't about being perfect, far from it. It's about exploring aspects of our lives that might indicate we're on the right path. As we go through these 5 ways, I invite you to reflect on your own life and relationship with the divine. Feel free to grab a journal to jot down your thoughts or experiences. You might uncover something profound about yourself. I'd also love to hear your reflections in the comments, so let's make this an interactive discussion. Let's kick off with our first point: a heart for others. When we think about being called or chosen, one of the most significant signs often appears in how we treat those around us. Consider this. Do you find yourself genuinely enjoying helping others? Maybe you enjoy volunteering at a local shelter, mentoring someone younger than you, or even just lending a listening ear to a friend in need. That desire to lift others up, to seek out the good in people, and to show empathy is monumental. A heart that cares deeply for others often reflects a deeper understanding of love. Love that many might say comes from being chosen. Think about empathy for a moment. Empathy is more than just understanding someone else's feelings. It's about connecting with that experience on a human level. When we genuinely empathize with others, we often seek to help them. This is a powerful indication of how we might be part of God's chosen ones. Let's dive deeper into this. Picture a situation where you're walking down the street and you see someone clearly struggling. Maybe they're in physical pain or distress. What do you do? If your first instinct is to offer assistance, you've tapped into something that many of us strive for. It shows a willingness to bear the burdens of others. Another way this manifests is through acts of kindness. Think back to the last time you performed a random act of kindness. Perhaps you paid for a stranger's coffee or left a kind note for a co-worker. These small gestures, often unnoticed in the grand scheme of life, can make a world of difference. So, what's the last kind act you did or someone did for you? How did it make you feel? Share your experience in the comments below. Now, for a personal story. There was a time when I felt particularly down. I was at a local coffee shop, and while I was waiting for my order, I noticed a woman struggling to pay for her drink. I don't even know what prompted me. Maybe it was a moment of divine nudge, but I stepped up and paid for her coffee. The look of surprise and gratitude on her face lifted my spirits far more than I could have anticipated. It was a reminder that we're part of a larger story and can light a spark of hope for others. If you take joy in connecting with others, remember that those connections can lead to a deeper purpose in our lives. Maybe you volunteer with a community organization or lead a small group at your church. Each relationship you nurture adds to the tapestry of purpose woven through our lives. Those little interactions can create a ripple effect, impacting many lives and communities. So, take note. If you feel that calling to connect and uplift others, that's a strong signal that you may very well be among the chosen. Moving on, our second point: inner peace. In a world full of chaos and uncertainty, cultivating a sense of inner peace is no small feat. But guess what? If you have that calm assurance, even in the stormiest seas, it's a significant indicator of being chosen. So, what do we mean by inner peace? It's that quiet confidence that swells within, telling you everything will be okay despite the challenges you may face. It's not a denial of struggle, but rather a steadfast assurance that you are supported through whatever life throws your way. Let's think about a time you might have faced an overwhelming situation, like a job loss or a family crisis. Did you notice an underlying sense of hope? Some people might experience anxiety or fear, but others seem to have a calming presence, drawing strength from their faith. When you find yourself remaining calm and centered while navigating life's ebbs and flows, That's a powerful sign of spiritual grounding. This inner peace often leads to resilience, allowing you to bounce back from hardships more easily. This peace can also stem from surrendering the things we cannot control. Have you ever felt a weight lifted when you decided to let go of trying to manage every detail of your life? It can be liberating. This surrender is often connected to a deep trust in a higher power or in the universe's plan for us. Reflect on a moment of surrender you have experienced. If you feel comfortable, share it in the comments. What was the experience like, and how did it affect your outlook? For instance, I recall a season in my life filled with uncertainty and unanswered questions. I was stuck in a job that didn't fulfill me, and I felt anxious about the future. I decided to let go, trusting that something better was on its way. The peace that washed over me was profound. I believe that trust in the journey is indeed a signal of being among the chosen. So, how can we cultivate this inner peace further? Here are a few strategies. Mindfulness and meditation. These practices can help anchor you in the present, allowing you to release worries about the future or remnants of the past. Journaling. Writing down your thoughts and emotions can be an incredibly therapeutic way to process what you're experiencing. Nature connection. Spending time outside, whether through hiking, gardening, or simply appreciating the beauty around us, can ground us and foster tranquility. Remember, experiencing inner peace does not mean we're devoid of problems. It's about how we choose to navigate through them. What's your go-to method for finding peace in turbulent times? Let's share. The third principle we'll explore today is a desire for growth. This one is super exciting because it indicates a genuine willingness to improve oneself, spiritually, emotionally, or intellectually. If you're someone who finds joy in learning and evolving, you might just be fulfilling a destined role. Let's start with the concept of a growth mindset. Over the years, studies have shown that individuals who embrace challenges and see failures as opportunities for learning tend to thrive. Are you someone who actively seeks new experiences or knowledge? Some personal experiences might resonate here. Think back to a time you faced a challenge. Did you approach it with a mindset geared toward growth, viewing it as a lesson rather than an obstacle? Those who can do this often experience profound shifts in their lives. Now, in the context of spirituality, a desire for growth can also mean a thirst for deeper understanding, whether it's through scripture, spiritual books, or engaging in faith communities. Ask yourself, do you look for opportunities to delve deeper into your faith? Consider this. Attending church on Sundays is great, but do you find yourself wanting to explore further during the week? Do you read books or listen to podcasts about spirituality? Diving deeper into one's faith is often a sign that we are on the right path. What's a book or podcast you've come across recently that transformed your thoughts? Comment below and help inspire others. Growth isn't just about soaking in knowledge. It often requires us to step out of our comfort zones. Think about the last time you tried something completely outside of your norm. Maybe it was attending a new class, joining a community group, or even engaging in difficult but necessary conversations. I remember the first time I joined a local group focused on social justice. It was intimidating. I felt like I didn't belong and was out of my depth. However, stepping into that circle led me to learn about perspectives I had never considered. Each uncomfortable experience can be a catalyst for personal and spiritual growth. For sustained growth, adopt the mindset of lifelong learning. Life is filled with opportunities that can challenge our existing beliefs and expand our horizons. It could be learning a new skill, participating in discussions that make you think, or even traveling to different places to understand diverse cultures better. Each experience adds layers to our spiritual and emotional development. Our spiritual journeys are not merely linear, but rather intricate tapestries woven through various growth experiences. So, if you feel that constant push to learn and grow, embrace it. It's a beautiful indicator of where you stand on this path. Now let's move to our fourth point: joy in the journey. This is all about finding happiness in life's ups and downs. Can you appreciate the little moments just as much as the significant milestones? Finding joy doesn't mean we ignore hardships. It's the ability to appreciate life despite them. This kind of joy often bustles beneath the surface, regardless of external circumstances. When you can smile at the small things, like enjoying your favorite meal or sharing a laugh with a friend, you tap into something profound. Reflect back on your last week. What little moments brought you happiness? Maybe it was sipping your morning coffee while watching the sunrise, or sharing a heartfelt conversation with a loved one. Those moments create the foundation of happiness and are reminders that joy is often a choice we make. An essential component of finding joy is practicing gratitude. Studies have shown that focusing on what you're thankful for can significantly improve your outlook on life. Start small. Each evening, take a moment to jot down a few things you're grateful for. Over time, this practice can train your mind to focus on positive aspects of your life, helping you cultivate that joy amidst challenges. Equally, it's essential to celebrate milestones, whether big or small. Maybe you achieved a fitness goal, made progress in your career, or simply got through a tough week. Taking the time to acknowledge these milestones can create a sense of fulfillment and joy that compels you to continue thriving. Why don't you share a recent milestone you celebrated, no matter how big or small? What did that milestone mean to you? Let me share a personal story here. I went through a personal challenge not long ago. It felt overwhelming, but through persistent effort and a positive mindset, I managed to reach a point of clarity and resolution. When I finally reached that point, I celebrated with a DIY spa night. It may seem silly, but it felt amazing to acknowledge the progress I had made. Finally, cultivating joy during tough times can be incredibly challenging, but immensely rewarding. Think back to a time you managed to find light in darkness. When we can bring a sense of humor or lightheartedness into our struggles, it's a beautiful demonstration of resilience and faith. When I lost a loved one, it was devastating. Yet, in the reminiscence of our shared experiences, I found comfort in laughter, sharing stories of their quirks. Celebrating their life through joy instead of solely mourning their loss became a significant turning point in my healing journey. And finally, we arrive at our fifth point: connection and community. One of the clearest signs you might be among God's chosen is your sense of belonging within a community. Think about it. Are you someone who actively seeks connections? Do you want to support those around you and be part of something bigger? Communities, whether they're family, friends, colleagues, or faith-based, have a tremendous impact on our lives. Imagine a triumphant sports moment. The stadium is electric, full of fans rooting for their team. That sense of belonging can be exhilarating. Now, think about how that applies to life in general. Being part of a supportive community can multiply our joys and divide our sorrows. A critical aspect is nurturing these relationships. It's not solely the numbers of friends or contacts you have. Rather, it's the depth of those connections that matters. When you invest time and energy into these relationships, you foster an environment of love and support, which is a fundamental aspect of being chosen. Take a moment to review your close relationships. Are you nurturing them? Are you reaching out regularly to check in on friends and family? Reflect on a relationship you cherish and consider how you can deepen that bond. Comment below about a community that has impacted your life. How did it support you during difficult times? Perhaps it was a church group, a charity organization, or even a group of good friends. Involvement in community is also about sharing life's journey, the ups and downs. Sharing our experiences with each other creates a tapestry of connection and mutual support. When someone shares their story of vulnerability, it inspires others to share their stories and realize they aren't alone. Each of us has a story to tell, filled with triumphs, trials, and the ways we've grown through them. Sharing those stories strengthens our bond and often leads to new friendships and deeper relationships. Creating inclusive spaces where everyone feels valued can amplify these connections. Are you involved in initiatives that promote inclusivity and accessibility? Taking part in such efforts indicates a heart for community and connection. Let me share a story from my own experience. I joined a community group focused on support for mental health awareness. Initially, I wasn't very knowledgeable, but as I engaged with different members, I learned so much. Seeing firsthand how everyone collaborates, supports, and uplifts one another was powerful. That connection solidified my understanding of community as a key factor in our spiritual journey. So let's recap the 5 ways we've discussed. 1. A heart for others. It's reflected in our willingness to help and empathize. 2. Inner peace. Cultivating calm assurance amidst life's storms. 3. A desire for growth, embracing challenges and continuous self-improvement. 4. Joy in the journey, finding happiness in life's ups and downs. 5. Connection and community, building and nurturing relationships to foster unity. These points reflect not just characteristics of being chosen, but also visible markers of a life well lived in love and purpose. Remember, everyone's journey is unique. Being chosen isn't about how perfect we are, but about how we embrace love, growth, and connection. If this video resonated with you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Let's continue this conversation. Remember, you are not alone. We're all on this journey together, and your story matters. Thank you so much for joining me today. Keep shining your light, and always remember that you are loved. Until next time.